It's Week 12 of the National Football League, and our focus is on this team's sure-handed wide receiver. He should be one of his quarterback's best friends this week. The action is only moments away, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
It's the National Football League, presented by... Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
And this intercepted on the first play of the game. And the return will stop right around the 25.
And part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this. And now it's a prime opportunity, just moments in the game to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
And what he's thinking about right now is first down, let's find a way to make a big play. Because when you get a sudden change situation and that defense has to rush onto the field unexpectedly, you might catch them having a defensive breakdown or not quite prepared.
And it was really sudden after the first play picked off. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he had to get this down to the 15. He won't make it. He's a yard or 2 short. That'll give him 8 that time. And that's going to make it 4th down. And his kick is indeed good, and that'll make it 3-0 here in the first. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The home team's offense, led by their running back, headed out for the second possession. As we take a look at the league leaders in receiving touchdowns, he is right up there amongst the best in the NFL. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. Here's 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
And on now is the punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. And if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 3rd and 3. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. A handoff as they run the counter play. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. On play action, they'll throw. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. 23 yards, the final tally.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
That's complete, right around the 8. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. He's able to force his way through one man, but he can muster only about a yard on the play. 2nd down. 2nd and goal from the 1. He'll try again. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. the play fake. He'll look to throw. A quick throw, but incomplete. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Now a 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 11 yards there, 1st down. Here's a quick throw caught out wide. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 4 catches, 60 yards.
This defense is ranked near the bottom of the league against the pass. You get the sense that he feels like if he gets covered on any call, he's going to be upset. He thinks he should be open on every snap in this game.
2nd and 5. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
And that last penalty makes his 3rd down play a little more interesting. 3rd and 5. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. He might be being set up here for a busy ball game. Already 2 kicks here in the 1st quarter, and he's knocked both through the posts.
And for now, you know they'll be happy getting those 3 points, but what they really want is to find a way for him to kick extra points instead of field goals.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver. But you look at this defense. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. They'll drop to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They'll look to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That's a gain of 13 as they try to whittle away at this 13-point deficit. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's our home team with possession. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys have made this a 1-score game now.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Now the try here for the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And his ability to use his legs has given the defense fits when trying to game plan. He's currently 2nd in the NFL in rushing yards by a QB. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the number 1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're number 1 in their conference.
Just a gain of a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Here's a give up the middle. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. They went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
They bring their punter out there now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down. They'll set up a throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 12 yards there and a 1st down. From the gun, they'll try to run it. Taken down at the 47-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Quick hitter here, it's complete. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, boy, tough conditions out there. I don't know if a defender slipped or what, but he had a man wide open, and that's a bad one to miss on. They don't come a whole lot easier than that one right there.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation,
in trouble, and he's taken down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And they'll send out their punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And he'll take it just outside the 40. That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Here's a 2nd and 9 now from the 29. They'll look to throw here. Yeah, to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one, because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there's no way that ball was going to be caught.
That is caught, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Back to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like, because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge, because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
They find some open field here. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Back to throw now on 1st down. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw again. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
2nd and a couple.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. If it was sunny, maybe this is a field goal attempt. But with the rain, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And try to push his way forward, but I think he's going to be short. And he is short. He needed 2. He only got 1. And as a result, possession switches hands.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created the push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll set up to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. Room past the 35 and past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 15 yards on the play. 1st down. Now back to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Again, he'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will be, let's see, 38 yards out. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. So we come upon halftime with 9 points separating these two teams. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with past the halfway point of the season and now past the halfway point of this game. We skip halftime and get right back to the action. Set to begin the 3rd quarter. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the 2nd half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it. But I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities. And I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
11 yards there, 1st down. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. Movement there on the offensive line, a little quick, and a 5-yard penalty. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal. He'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he will take it in for the touchdown. A great play there. He scored on the ground and through the air as his guys are able to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half.
Well, the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome, a little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
On play action, they'll throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they're going to get him down well short of the 1st as he can only get this to the 30. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up 4th down. So they bring out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
And they will take over 1st and 10. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here.
Here's a quick throw left side to start things out. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
2 yards to go, 2nd down.
They'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
They'll look to throw again.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on third.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
He'll drop to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
63 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Right back to him on first down. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here, because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd and 8.
Now a first carry here for their running back.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. Three quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's second down. They'll look to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here, and unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. A big-time sack there on 4th down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful. I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here. Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out. Hands it off out of the gun. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker. 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it. Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And as a result, possession switches hands. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury. Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right? And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way. Toward the sideline, intercepted. Now he's loose down the left sideline. So a big return there, Charles, on what was a pretty dangerous throw to the outside.
It sure was, Brandon. That's the risk you run on a throw like this. If it's intercepted, a lot of times this is a pick 6. So good hustle to get back and get him down. But, boy, that's a throw you've really got to be sure of if you're going to work the perimeter of the field.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. Well, fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter.
And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot.
And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's going to be batted down, and will go the other way with the football. The 4th down pass play doesn't work out. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now they'll run on the draw. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. 2nd and 7, operating from the 34. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 86 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. He's got a man that's caught left sideline. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. A great effort there with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And now this offense comes back out onto the field.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. They're going to look to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw here. And that will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. This offense and their running back headed back onto the field. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And he's going to be taken down about a yard shy of the 1st at the 29. That'll go for a gain of 7. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded at about the 28. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. They'll set up a throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and a yard. Looking to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Back to throw. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And he will find his man on the outside. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 2nd and 5.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And it would seem as if their 3-game winning streak is about to go to 4, but still a little work to do as they start 1st and 10. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for our visitors, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.